Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Couples Academy show. My name is Hassani. It's good to have each and every one of you here this morning. We're talking today about the 10 causes of insecurity in a relationship. This is huge because we come across so many people who have gone through the pain and the hardships of betrayal. And one of the natural areas where individuals are affected is in their personal self esteem, their self worth, and it compromises their sense of security. Now, I want to say that even though the betrayal was a devastating blow, there are all types of insecurities that a person may carry in their life. And there may be many contributing factors to that. And we're going to take the time to unpack that here on today's show. But before we get started, make sure you take an opportunity to like, share, and subscribe. Let the world know that we are here. Voting for us simply means clicking that like button. Like when you hear something that you like, click the like button because the algorithms within YouTube and Facebook and all the other platforms are saying, listen, people like this. Let's push this out to the rest of the world. So we ask that you would do that. Really quickly, last chance weekend that we just had was incredible. I told you we believe in transformation. We believe that people come in from hell and they leave feeling like there's still hope for their future. I want to share with you a quick testimonial of a couple who just experienced transformation in their marriage, and then we'll get started with today's show.
I am Matthew, and this is my wife, Nicole Murdahl. We are from Savannah, Oklahoma, and we just completed the 3-day intensive here at Couples Academy. I would say that this weekend has been eye-opening, to say the least.
Last chance weekend for me has been unbelievably life-changing. It has been so beneficial. It has opened up both of our eyes on our different personalities and really truly being able to understand each other's love language and really knowing so much about not only ourselves but our spouse, and it has just been absolutely beneficial for us.
It's been an absolute blessing, like Nicole said there, just being able to find the staff here and being able to ask the questions that you typically have with inside your head and want to ask your spouse or even ask yourself. You learn, and they give you the tools here to help you move forward and help you to realize the things that you need to do to make your relationship grow and flourish. I'm so excited to get home and to start work on not only on myself, but our marriage together in this journey.
Absolutely, and just to add with the questions that he said, the questions that we ask, sometimes I never thought there was going to be an answer to the questions that I had, or that there would ever possibly be one. And here we had the tools given to us by the staff here, and it has been, like he said, a blessing to get a lot of those answers and the clarity and the closure that we needed and really longed for, and really truly didn't think that there would be any way we would receive that. And by being here these 3 days, I know truly, wholeheartedly, that I have and my husband has as well.
Absolutely.
Always amazing to see transformation in the lives of couples. And this may be where you are at a place of, I don't know what to do. I don't know where we're going. I don't know how to overcome this. And if that is you, we would encourage you to reach out, set up a discovery call, and let us talk through your situation. There's still room, there's still time to get into this upcoming last chance weekend, which will be June the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. Is the second weekend of June. Listen, we expect hot summers. We don't want them to be hot because we're sizzling hot, full of rage and anger because there's so much hostility in the home. We want you to be hot with passion for your partner. And so, in order to do that, sometimes you have to do something different to get the results that you've been wanting. You've been trying things on your own and it has not been working. why not try something different? If you are struggling with insecurities in your relationship because of things that have occurred, come here and get the help that you need so we can help turn your situation around. All right, so we're going to get into today's topic. We're talking about the 10 signs of insecurity in a marriage. I want to first talk about what some type of insecurities that you may struggle with look like. For instance, some people carry this and they live with this every single day, and it's not believing your partner will remain faithful to you and constantly fearing that they may cheat on you either for the first time or again. And I think that's one of the fears that causes people to put walls up and keeps them from being truly vulnerable again, the fear of being hurt again. And so oftentimes insecurity shows up in someone who's constantly checking up on their partner to find out where they're at. You know, I can only trust you as far as I can see you. When you're out of my sight, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what's going on. So I need to know. I need a thumb on you. I need to know what you're doing, who you're with, where you're at, all of that. It speaks to one's insecurity, meaning I don't feel secure in where we are as a couple. I don't feel safe with where we are as a couple, and I need to know your every move, your every whereabouts. Okay, not trusting that your partner, excuse me, not trusting your partner, and always finding the need to verify everything they say. You know, because you lied to me in the past, I begin to question everything you say. If you say the sky is blue, I need proof. If you say grass is green, I don't believe it till I see it, right? So in normal situations, when a person is being honest, they become frustrated because they're like, well, why don't you just believe me? Well, you've given them a reason not to. And because they haven't gone through a healing process, whether a month later, a year later, a decade later, they begin to identify you today the way you were in your past. This is what we call confirmation bias, where I'm looking for evidence to confirm the bias that I have about you, that you are a liar. So even when you speak the truth, I question it. I doubt it. Because if you could lie to me about this, then what's keeping you from lying to me about that? And that's the struggle that people who battle with insecurity really face. Feeling that your partner could leave at any time. This is a huge one. Like, will you stay? You know, either A, you've been threatening to leave from the very beginning of our relationship, and it's an ongoing threat that you make. And even though you are still here, it feels just as real this time as it did the last time. And so, inherently, even though I physically see you here, I ultimately believe that it's just a matter of time. It's just going to happen right around the corner. I'm waiting for the date. I'm looking at my clock. I'm looking at the calendar, anticipating what will one day happen, which will thus cause me to sabotage my own efforts because I don't believe that working on the relationship and showing up the right way will ever prove to produce anything effective, because eventually you're just going to leave, right? So either you're threatening to leave, or maybe you haven't threatened to leave. Maybe I just have my own insecurity within me that one day you will leave for a variety of different reasons that we'll get into a little bit later. Okay. Another person who is insecure, what does that look like? They're constantly seeking compliments and validation to make them feel more secure. So they don't feel secure within themselves. And so they're seeking some type of validation or confirmation of who they are from other people. So rather than looking at themselves through the goggles of God, they're looking at themselves through the lenses of other people. And if you feel good about me, then I'll feel good about me. But if you feel bad about me, then I'm going to feel bad about me. So there's no internal worth or value that they have because they're battling these types of insecurities. All right. So since we know what it looks like, let's start talking about the insecurities that people have and where it comes from. So, number one, low self esteem, right? Individuals with low self esteem are always quick to assume the wrong thing. A lot of times, an insecure person will project their internal struggles on you, and they will blame you for what they inherently are responsible for that they have not dealt with. Oftentimes, a person who battles with insecurity does not feel lovable. And because I don't feel lovable, it is hard either A, for me to accept the love that you're trying to give me, or B, I struggle to believe that you actually do love me. You don't really love me. That's not how you really feel. You're just here because of this, or you're just here out of pity, or you just said that to make me feel good. Yeah. Think about this. All of us have experienced this. Have you ever met a beautiful woman or a good looking man that the world, I mean, by worldly standards, they would be at the top of the list. But they have so many doubts and insecurities about themselves. They're not pretty enough. They're not handsome enough. They're too skinny, or they're too fat, or there's just something wrong. They begin to pick themselves apart. And you're like, are you crazy? Like, are you from planet Org somewhere? How could you not see what the rest of the world sees? Because the way that you see a person is different than oftentimes how they see themselves. I have met some extremely successful people, extremely successful, good looking, great careers, lots of money, assets, vacation, just everything that anyone would dream of, and some of the most insecure people that you will ever meet. And this is why I say, when you get close to people, you realize that there's nothing superhuman about any of them. They're normal people, just like you and me. They have the same battles and struggles, just like you and me. But they did things in spite of their internal struggles. They didn't allow those things to hold them back. But the point is, this level of insecurity in terms of one's low self worth and low self value, sometimes, interestingly enough, there was a study done on extremely successful people. It is their internal insecurity that drives them to compete, that drives them to perform, that drives them for success. Why? Because they're looking at these outward rewards and accomplishments and things as a way to validate what they're not feeling internally. That's a whole nother conversation for another time. But they're battling with the low self esteem, and that contributes to the insecurity. Another thing that really contributes to a person's insecurity, which oftentimes has nothing to do with the spouse. Now, even though I did what I did, even though I betrayed your trust, even though I violated the integrity of our relationship, there were some things that you were carrying prior to this that you personally have never dealt with. We call it your attachment patterns or attachment styles. I want you to think about this. Who you are is a result of what you've gone through. And so we can look at your childhood. And there many psychological studies have been done on children that have explained that the way that they mature into adulthood is based upon their attachment style to the parent. So, as an example, if you are an individual who may have felt neglected as a child. Maybe you didn't have a good relationship with your same sex parent, or even more important, your opposite sex parent. That can leave an indelible mark on your life that shapes how you show up in relationships. And so, if you've experienced neglect or abandonment, or haven't felt loved by a parent, or haven't been accepted in your nuclear family by your siblings, then that can impact how you show up in adult relationships. And so, therefore, you may always feel that your spouse will one day leave. You may always feel a sense of abandonment and neglect, even when your spouse is physically there. So, if they're going out with their friends just to have a great time, you feel neglected. You feel abandoned. You feel like they're choosing someone else instead of you. And so, what happens is, if you have this insecurity or this deficit within, it can imprison your partner to you. So anything outside of you is not approved by you. Anything outside of you is not something that you celebrate. And so now they feel like, man, I can't breathe. I can't eat a sandwich. I can't go to the bathroom. I can't go to the store without it being a problem. And what happens is the insecure person will project the problem on their partner. How could you ever think about leaving? And really, the issue is from within. But because I never took the time to deal with my stuff, it now is showing up in my relationship and compromising what we have in our partnership. Listen, guys, we're talking about the 10 causes of insecurity in a relationship. We are just getting started. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
What is the best gift or investment for a newly engaged couple?
What do couples really need? Proactive, transparent, synergy. They need to synthesize a 12-week premarital group counseling experience that combines the mind, heart, mission, and vision for an effective future.
No matter the age or life experience, this research-based curriculum will help to increase marriage resilience by 30%. Why choose Synthesize for premarital counseling? 1. To better understand yourself and your partner and to audit your past and present condition in order to be a proactive couple.
2. To engage in crucial conversations about finances, communication, sex, and intimacy. To be fully and completely transparent.
3. To develop a unified vision and mission in order to embody high levels of synergy.
Give the gift that builds proactive, transparent synergy. Synthesize.
All right, guys, we're back. You're watching the Couples Academy show. I tell you, Synthesize, I'm excited about it. It starts next Thursday on June 1st. It is the best program that I never had. I'll say that again. It is the best program that I never had. How many of you, before you got married, actually went to premarital counseling? Crickets. Can you hear the crickets in the background? Most of you did not. But if some of you have, 9 times out of 10, it was a short-lived, oversimplified, not comprehensive, let's throw something up against the wall to see what sticks type of class where they covered a few basic things and it did not give you the foundation. It did not properly prepare you. It did not share with you the realities of what you're about to step into. Then you get married thinking that your love will just last forever, that you'll just whisk off into the sunset and have forever happy ending relationships. And then you were hit with the reality that that is not the case. And you wish you could have had something like this. So if you're listening right now, some of you are not married yet. You are not even engaged yet. So if you are not engaged, this is pre-engagement preparation. If you are engaged, preparing for marriage, this is premarital preparation. If you are in your first year and you're like, oh my God, what did I just get myself into? This is for you as well. This is for those individuals who do not have the foundation that they need. And Walter and Charmaine Jennings are going to do a comprehensive 12-week program that will give you that foundation. So I encourage you to reach out, set up a discovery call, go to the link, register today. It is going to be worth it. All right, we're talking about the 10 causes of insecurity in a relationship. We started off by talking about low self-esteem and then these family or parental attachment patterns from our past. But another area that we have to talk about are past relationships. See, some of you have not healed. Some of you are still broken because of what you've experienced from past partners, and you've never overcome. You've never gone through a he-tox or a she-tox. You've never been alone long enough to become whole and complete within yourself. And so because you were broken in a past relationship, you came limping into the next one, right? Hoping that the person that you're now in a relationship with will lick your wounds. And now you make them responsible for something that they had nothing to do with. And then you project what you've gone through in the past on your new partner. So now they inherit the damage of a past relationship, right? they have to deal with all of the insecurities. And so now, if you were insecure about a past partner, you assume you're going to experience the same thing with a new present partner. And so your walls go up. You become very defensive. You are careful with what you do with your heart. And the reality is, any hurt, any pain you still have attached to past relationships, they are holding up space in your heart and in your mind. And the reason that you can't give all of you to your present partner is because your previous partner still has a part of your heart, still has a part of your mind. So some would say, you know what? I don't think nothing. I can't stand my ex. I have hatred and vitriol and disgust and disdain for what he or she put me through. Well, you're proving that they have a piece of your heart and a piece of your mind. They're still there. And if they're occupying space, you cannot give all of you to your present partner. So having negative feelings and emotions and memories of the past is not a healthy thing. See, you think, well, I'm not in love with them. I'm not thinking about them. I'm not lusting for them. I don't want to be with them. I have the opposite emotion. But either emotion is a bad emotion. Either memory, whether toxic or a still infatuation, romantic feeling or memory of the past, is toxic. You have to get rid of it all. You have to have a clean slate so you can build a healthy foundation with the one that you are now with. So, hurt past relationships have helped to make you insecure. And so you fear that past rejections and past hurts from past relationships will creep up in your current relationship with your partner. And it is unfair. It is unfair that you would put all of this weight and pressure on an existing partner. This is why it's important for a person to know your past. See, there's something called the policy of radical honesty. And in the policy of radical honesty, it is you being radically honest about your history, about your current reality, about your future intentions, and about your emotions. But that historical piece, that piece from the past, is important because when you marry somebody, you're marrying what? Their past, their present, and their future. So you have to know all about who a person is. And if you don't understand what they've gone through, you may not understand why they show up the way that they do. But when you do know their history, it allows you to have empathy. It allows you to have understanding. And it allows you not to take ownership over something that they brought into the relationship that they still have not dealt with. So this is why we say your individual healing is critically important. And this is why you should be jumping into personal counseling to become the best version of yourself so that you can have the best relationship that you ultimately desire. All right, let's go to number 4. Hope you guys are learning something. Number 4, one of the things that contributes to a person's low self-esteem is a lack of personal life fulfillment. You ain't got nothing going on. You ain't about nothing. You ain't doing nothing. You have no passion. You have no career. You have no focused intensity on anything in particular. There's nothing that gives you life. There's no zeal. There's there's nothing. And so what happens is a person who has nothing going on, their partner becomes their all in all. And so they are living vicariously. They're living another person's life through their partner. So in essence, what you got going on, I'm going to attach myself to that. Your friends, I'm going to attach myself to your friends. Your interests, I'm going to attach myself to your interests. And you've lost your sense of self. You've lost your individuality. You've lost your self-expression because something has been lying dormant within you that you haven't tapped into because it hurts to go deep. Because there's so much pain and so much hurt and so much rejection and so much abandonment that you're not taking the time to look within. And so all you do is look without. But the reality is the lowest common denominator in any relationship or interaction or experience you enter into is you, which means that you take you everywhere you go. Sometimes I come across people who say, you know what? I was in a bad relationship. This is a bad environment. This is a bad setting. I think I'm going to, pack my bags and move and go to another area of the country and start off fresh because I believe that something better over there is waiting for me. And that may be true in part. Many people have done that, and that has been very true. But the reality is, you take you everywhere you go. You cannot hide from yourself. You see, so whatever you're internally battling, you will have that battle no matter where you go, because it's not the fact that you live in a world and there are new options and new experiences in a different part of the world, but the same world lives within you. So an insecure person in Chicago is going to be an insecure person in Atlanta. A broken person in Miami is going to be a broken person in New Jersey, right? Whatever your deficits are, you take them with you everywhere you go. So rather than traveling to the all four corners of the earth, why not close your eyes and close your ears and travel within and explore the depths of the world that exists within you and get comfortable and familiar with that? Probe the depths of your own being. Become the person that you were called to be, so that when you open up your eyes and your ears, you see and feel and experience the world that you're in very differently. This is what we mean by living from the inside out, not the outside in. When you live from the outside in, you're basing every decision on circumstances and situations, and you're reacting and responding to life. When you are living life from the inside out, you are determining what your position is, what you believe, what you're going to do, how you're going to approach the world, and the world has to bow to your will. This is why we say every single morning, myself, my wife, my children, that today belongs to me. It must submit to my will. And my will is in perfect alignment with the will of God. See, that's living life with intentionality. That's living life with purpose. That's not allowing a rainy day to get the best of me. And oh my God, the sun's out. Now I can enjoy my day. Regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the conditions, I am a force to be reckoned with when I step into this world, but it's based upon a self-confidence. Let me say this. It's based upon my Godfidence. See, because I know my identity, because I know who I am and who I come from, and I know that I, within me, right, the kingdom of God is within me, that I am just a temple of a Holy Spirit that lives within me. My power, my strength comes from a God that I identify with. So I've got a Godfidence. And if you truly know who you are and where you're from, no person would struggle with insecurity. So your insecurity is based upon your lack of self-knowledge. You don't know who you are. You have a poor self-image, and you're projecting it in this life, and it's impacting your relationships. I hope that you're getting something out of this conversation. We're just getting started. I do want to acknowledge a question that came from City Girl. It says, "Hey, good morning. I have a question. My husband is having a problem in bed. He can't stop thinking about the affair that I had last year." And this is a legitimate feeling and experience that many people have. And my question to you, City Girl, would be, has your husband gone through any process to help him heal from last year's affair? Have you two as a couple gone to couples counseling? Has he gone through any type of personal counseling, coaching, or therapy? What has been done? Because if nothing has been done, that pain will remain and be attached to him for the rest of his days, because he hasn't learned techniques and a method and a process to help him overcome it. And then also the question becomes, how are you showing up in the relationship? Are there still reminders? Are there still repeat behaviors? Are there still attitudes and perspectives that you're attaching yourself to that keeps him constantly triggered? So these are questions that I would have for you, and I would encourage you to reach out to us so that we can take a deeper dive to figure out what we can do to help your situation. Anyway, guys, we're talking about the 10 causes of insecurity in a relationship. We're going to continue the conversation till tomorrow. And just a reminder, this is going to be our last week for a while. We're going to be taking a necessary break so that we can do things on the back end to come back bigger and stronger and more impactful in a month or two to come. Listen, love you guys. Hope you got something out of today's show. We will see you in the morning for another episode. Take care.